Hello, and welcome to the Gaia update for the Capricorn new moon that happens on January 13th, 2021. And we are starting this year off with a bang. The astrology is so potent and powerful. And it's kind of looking back to exactly a year ago, when Saturn and Pluto came together for their conjunction. And I kind of think a story started then, and here we go. This new moon is a massive turning point, and it's very interesting because new moon in Capricorn, after Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto in this massive Capricorn activation, and then Saturn and Jupiter, that greater conjunction, moving over into Aquarius together in December. There is a massive energy of a turning point change, of culmination of what this year's been about for us and what is going on here, and there's a whole bunch of squares happening this month, and that's about tension and change, right? Forced change. And we know this, like in your life, if you made big changes, you typically didn't go just make those. Sometimes they just happen, but typically we get uncomfortable first. Something has to get uncomfortable, that snake skin. And this is where humanity's at. And you can feel it, man. Something is uncomfortable. Something is not right. And our reality just doesn't match up with reality. So here we are. And it's the breakdown of the lower matrix and the blooming of the supernova souls. All happening January 2021. Okay, so the reason why this new moon is so powerful, one, it's in Capricorn, right? So this is the sun and the moon in Capricorn together. And so it's like, okay, these are our personal planets. The sun is who we think we are, the role we're playing here. The moon is our emotional state and energy. And so a new moon is a new beginning, a new month, a new chapter. And in Capricorn, though, it's about looking at this whole year and what's happened and the power struggle. Capricorn is authority, structures of authority. And Pluto, the last big player in Capricorn, the sun and the moon are next to Pluto, less than a degree away from Pluto for this new moon. And so it's about a breakdown of our identity constructs according to authority. Sounds like the breakdown of the lower matrix, right? Sounds like breaking through to a whole new conceptual reality. Now, Mercury, speaking of conceptual reality, for this full new moon will be in conjunction to Saturn and Jupiter, leading up to this new moon, going over Saturn, going over Jupiter in early Aquarius. So Mercury moves into Aquarius on the 9th. And so it's almost like that starts this process of leading up to this new moon. And it's going to go over Saturn, over Jupiter, and be just beyond them, making a trinity in early Aquarius in square to a trinity in early Taurus. And that trinity is Mars next to Uranus, next to Black Moon Lilith. So incredibly powerful, because we've got this, it's interesting because that's 9 squares, with 3 and 3. And that's exactly what happened with Mars. This is the completion of the Mars retrograde. Mars is now in Taurus, and but has not had its third and final square with Jupiter and Saturn. So that's interesting, because 9 is an energy of completion, right? And we do need to end some stuff. We need to end the mind control. We need to end the lower matrix. We need to end the lies. We need to end the fake reality. And that's part of the energy of this Taurus. Mars moving over into Taurus is about a demand within the warrior self for substance and meaning and purpose. Like, what is going to back up the story here? this Uranus and Taurus, definitely while Uranus is in Taurus, we're going to have, I think we'll have a financial reset going back to a currency that's backed by actual, substance, precious metals, potentially. And this is exactly the energy of this shift in our reality right now. It's like, I don't want your fake stars that are doing gross stuff. I don't want your fake politicians that are lying and cheating and doing gross stuff and stealing our money and feeding us fake propaganda information in a fake world, in a fake matrix, It's like, show me the money. This is Taurus, And so it's about substance, it's about the earth. But Uranus and Taurus is like revolution, vibration, new energy, new frequency, new technology. And we talked about this Uranus and Taurus being like infusing the earth, the physical structures with new technology, but it's also getting back to basics, Like, how about we just flip this whole bullshit on its head and start getting back to basics and taking all these resources that have been stolen from us and start taking care of the people on the earth, because we can't continue the way we're going. We can't continue to get more and more sensitive and empathic and not take care of people on the earth. It's like, it's just this like world that we live in. It's like, well, this is just the way it is. And we've been just kind of going along with the way it is. Okay, yeah, that's not really my reality, but here I am. And it's like, time to do it right. Saturn, that's part of the energy of Saturn. It's very practical. And Saturn in Capricorn has been about, though, authority structures. And Aquarius, it's like, hey, how do we do this new thing? How do we build in this new way? And so new moon in this new moon in Capricorn, right next to Pluto, is about dismantling mind control, dismantling the lower matrix, and dismantling her ego constructs. The deal is like, it's painful to go through the ego death, and we've all been dealing with this, but it's essential. You cannot bring in your higher spiritual truth and open up to and remember who you are. It's not becoming something. It's remembering who you are, but you cannot do that. There's no room for your true spiritual self with the ego constructs. But those are so knitted into our reality like a disease tissue, and then you got to cut out the disease, and can the host live? And this is what it feels like right now. These old constructs just being ripped away. And it's like, but then how do I plan? What am I doing now? And then on top of that, we've got Venus leading up to this, the week ahead, Venus going over the galactic center, bringing up all of these energies of the South Node and Sagittarius of like, I've got this purpose and I got to do it and I'm not doing it right and I have to do more. And I failed before in my mission and I gotta, and it's like, your mission and purpose right now is to allow this ego death to happen. Allow all of the constructs, because now it's a new mission. It's a galactic mission. It's an alignment with a great mother, divine, feminine, intuitive, caring, loving, nurturing force of this world. And this is, if we're going to go deep into the constructs of the personality constructs that are breaking down and the false programming and beliefs, it has a lot to do with our relationship to mother, the concept of mother. And what we're dealing with right now is trying to clean up this reptilian type influence, this parasitic monster. And I have to tell you that reptiles do not care for their young. Then we look at a picture of like, say, the black widow spider is a picture of the dark feminine. And sure, you can be on mom's back, but if you fall off, she's going to eat you. Better stay on there. And it's like, so this is our concept and our relationship to our earth. It's disconnected and disjointed, and she's not going to care for us, and we're not good enough, and we're not safe here, and we're not held, and this is not going to work in New Earth. And so a lot of the constructs, deep programming that's having to be dismantled, and since you're here to lead the way in the supernova soul, it's like has to do with this ability to feel loved and cared for and nurtured. Of course, Capricorn, the opposite sign, we just had that Cancer new full moon. And so it's like, this is the reflection of that, where we've given our power away in order to have what we need, you know? And we can definitely feel that there's this energy of like socialist, communist takeover, where you're looking at a breadline, you know, you're looking at having no control over your own resources and what you need to survive. And this is exactly the Cancer Capricorn axis. So this new moon in Capricorn coming home to this place of like, wait a minute, supernovas, I was programmed. I bet I can see this programming, like this being rejected by this world in your light, you know, being uncared for in this world. Deep distortions, the bloodlines that the supernova souls came into are the most distorted and sick bloodlines. And if you came in, like most supernova souls, to heal your whole lineage, you may have chosen some of the sickest examples of that as your immediate family. So fun. Oh. And it's all coming to a head. But it's so beautiful because it's like, that's the pressure you need to sprout your seed. That's what this new moon is. It's like you as an autonomous spiritual being, and you step back, you're like, yeah, because this control matrix reptilian crap is like, you're so evolved beyond that. And yes, you've had to play the game, but, you know, stop beating yourself up for it now. Now's the time to stop beating yourself up for having to play the game. In order to be here on Earth, you as a supernova soul have had to go so far away from your spiritual, ethical, moral, karmic stance just to survive here. And that's the point, right? It's like that narcissistic, parasitic energy, like, we want you to come down into our garbage with you. You know, we want to engage you into our drama. We want you to act as bad as we act. And then we've succeeded, right? And this is a power play, and it's over. Because you supernova souls, these amazing souls, you cannot get through this month without having a very much more radical shift, change idea around who you are and your power and what you have to offer here. It's coming home. Right? And that's where it's like, you got to face head on these difficulties right now. You got to face head on where you feel disempowered. You got to face head on where you feel like the bottom of the barrel, where, you know, just the low self-worth garbage, the residue, the sickness, the parasitic. You got to go right there, and you got to be like, this is my opportunity to have my sovereignty back. This is this new moon in Capricorn next to Pluto. Sovereignty of your mind, think your own thoughts, to be who you really are spiritually rather than playing out the psychological programs of the matrix. And going into those places, what holds us down into those delusions is these distortions of that the light is the dark and the scapegoat and the worth, you know, the garbage of this world. And it's like, wait a minute, how did we buy into this? Who said, yes, let's go ahead and put a mask on and that's really going to protect us right now? You know, we're all just going to go ahead and do it. You know, I mean, we are being shown so much right now. We are being given gift after gift after gift of clarity. Where we should put our energy, where we shouldn't put our energy, who's on our team, who's not on our team, and a very clear energy. I'm seeing the supernova souls of being like, you know what? I could tolerate it a little bit. I could go there. I could play a role for people in my life that aren't awake and on my page. And, you know, but it's like, don't you feel like shit when you do that? Don't you feel like you're just like selling yourself? Enough selling yourself short. You are the magic of this world. And it's time to stand up in that righteous truth and the substance. You are the substance. That's this radical revolution, you know, for this new moon. Mars right next to, you know, coming up to Taurus. Coming up to Uranus and Taurus. Mars and Uranus. Mars the warrior, Uranus revolutionary change. bam. And it's like everybody there's all these forces trying to start a civil war, right? Divide and conquer. But it's getting to the point where it's like, you know what? We're not buying it. And the revolution is us standing up in that righteous truth of who we are in our spiritual wealth. And you can't get out of this one. So face it, be the warrior, go to that place, this is the corner, find that righteous truth, take hold of your psyche. When you go off on those tangents and you're like in your pain body and the trauma, there's lots of past life, all the unresolved past life trauma body stuff's coming up, right? But just bring yourself back to outside of time and this beautiful discovery and the beautiful gifts that are happening right now to push you into the memory of who you are and to push you into shining your light in a way that you have held back for so long, to stay safe. And it's like breakthrough. And maybe this is our opportunity to get out of this wrestling with the lower personality constructs and where we, what's going on for the supernova soul right now. It's this energy of Mercury going over Pluto leading up to this new moon. And it has to do with this ego death. You're leading the way. So you have to dismantle this programming. And what I found is this programming is, it has a lot to do with just this life. We've been programmed through lifetimes, right? But I see recent past lives where supernova souls were way more in touch with who they really were spiritually. But this particular time we live in, this is this Capricorn energy coming up against the authoritarian structures. It's that matrix, it's the poison, it's the technology, it's the fluoride, it's GMOs, it's everything that's gone in, it's microwave technology, like everything that's gone into keeping us from our pineal gland and our activation and our spiritual truth and our joy and our experiencing of life as an advanced being in a body. And so it's like, because what I'm seeing is that we kind of almost, it felt like it was like, well, this has gone on, we've played this role, but this lifetime you've been more deliberately technologically kept from who you are, right? But that's false. That's what's breaking down. All that's false. Everything that's a veneer, fake mask is falling. Give me the substance, show me the money. And you are the money. You have the wealth and the worth. And so the fact that it's like it's like the veil is thinning, right? So your memory of who you really are as a soul is right there under the surface. And this is this January 2021. It's like flip the switch, going around the corner, going through the wormhole and sprouting, that potential that's been hidden within you. And incredibly powerful. So the main energy of this new moon is the sun and the moon next to Pluto. Mercury just have gone over Pluto. Ego death. But I wanted to just speak to this because the ego death process is excruciatingly painful, especially if you're here to lead the way, because not people around you aren't going through it. And every time you interact with the old people of your life, you'll go back into your ego constructs because it's the only way to stay safe with them, which is part of the reason why we're being protected from that. And as the ego false personality constructs break down, which is happening very rapidly, but it's like this feeling of free fall. I don't know who I am. I have no direction. I thought I had purpose. I thought I had meaning. And it's actually like this feeling of being in free fall and ripping apart all that you thought you were, ripping away from you and all that. That's actually what it's really happening, is you coming into who you really are, But in that process, there's this moment of fear, visceral fear that and this is programming too, but like you'll be all alone. And you'll have nothing. You'll be nothing and have nothing if you let go. It's like, so the supernova soul's like having these moments of clarity and then going back into like clinging to the old ship because that's what we know. And a lot of it has to do with the Sagittarius energy because we're attached to an idea about a role we're supposed to play. And that's this profound message that's coming through for the supernova soul right now. It's like, you have no idea the role you're playing. It's so beyond. And you're playing a very important role. And if you could look down and see in light show what you're doing as a group right now, the energy you're holding, you just have to hold the line right now, and when that ego death happens, it should be like, oh, this is a beautiful spiritual thing, actually. This is because the future is so beautiful and so amazing and so much potential. I can't even comprehend it. That is amazing. And I'm doing it right. And this feeling of being so lost and so alone and so confused is like, that's confirmation that it's happening, And then there's definitely like this lower part of those lower constructs think we need to know what's going on, think we need to do something, think we need to be prepared, play our role, do it right. And all that's going away. All that's going away because the bigger part of you, the soul memory that you have, that knows better than you know in your little brain. And so let it go, let it fall, let the landslide happen, right? We got to let cling to all that we've been clinging to psychologically and construct and plans and rules and all that. This is what this astrology is saying. And then this very intense square. So Sun, Moon, Capricorn, ego death, let it go. All that's false, gone. Mind control, gone. Lower matrix, gone. And jump off that cliff, be that fool, be in the 0 point. Be in that coming to the trust of your spiritual light. That's the strength, And then the square. So we've got Saturn and Jupiter, the greater conjunction, just early in Aquarius, right? Like, what are we doing? What's happening? This is a new era, a new age, a new energy. What's going on, And we haven't felt that yet because we've had Mercury and the Sun in Capricorn, right? So we're still in the Capricorn energy. And so we're transitioning. But then Mercury right there, Mercury leading up to this new moon going right over Saturn, Jupiter. And then, so Mercury's like, what's going on here, you guys? It's a council of energy with the greater conjunction, shift of ages, new conceptual reality, new world, new way to build, new rules. And Mercury's like, what just happened? Trying to get a grip, And then, so it's like, okay, new paradigm. But then that's in square to Taurus, to Mars, Uranus, and Black Moon Lilith. 3 and 3. And it's like, whoa, And so this is... this desire, Mars's desire, its power, its action, the warrior, and it's about the substance and real wealth and real meaning and real purpose and real truth, real people. No more matrix bullshit, And it's like, we're just not gonna play anymore. We're done. And we're at the end of the road. And that skin, that ego constructs and all the matrix and the programming, it's getting very uncomfortable because it no longer fits. And that's, because then you take the sun and the moon next to Pluto and it's like, yeah, so break it down. Landslide, just, all those trinkets of your life and who you're supposed to be and who you were and all your plans, that's like just the tablecloth is just being pulled off that table. Clean slate. So in a way, this astrology is the manifestation of what just happened to us in December. We're not feeling it yet. We don't know what it means yet. But we're at a breaking point and something has got to change. And it's just crazy how the astrology lines up. Now let's look at the backdrop, which is Neptune square the nodes. And we've been feeling this for 2.5 months or so, but it's not exact. We still haven't gotten to the exact. Neptune, the ruler of Pisces and Pisces, and square to the nodes, Sagittarius, Gemini, mutable signs, an adjustment that needs to be made. And this is an adjustment in our whole relationship to our ability to imagine, but also be deluded. And this, Neptune transits can just be so confusing because it's like, I can't figure out what's real. It's real, fake, fake, real, you know. But Pluto, Sun, Moon is kind of like all about breaking down the fake authority. And that's bringing us back into our spiritual autonomy. This is about claiming our sovereignty. As spiritual beings, as humans on the earth, no more matrix control. We're done. And for starseeds leading the way, supernova souls, you know you're more evolved than these control energies. So why can't we just take back our power? This is the question. It's a big question mark for this new moon. Why? Why do we continue to concede to this reality? And that's that breaking point. The way out of the breaking point, the bigger picture, the Neptune square the nodes, is dreaming something new and different. We need a new spiritual direction, a spiritual revival. At the base of all this, see, it's like the reason why we can't let go of our ego constructs is because we feel like there's nothing to catch us. And what catches us right now is the cup of God, is this spiritual consciousness of like, and that's what these truths are doing that are coming out, this disclosure energy. It's like, whoa. I mean, what I've been shown is that even people who feel like they know what's going on, right? Who have studied spiritual stuff, political stuff, like, you know, history and all this, and like really know what's going on, are going to have their minds completely blown. So that would fit this astrology. So we'll see. And so important for us to be together. So I hope you can make it for the new moon activation. That's going to be at 6 hours before the actual new moon at 4 p.m. Mountain Time on the 12th. So the day before the full moon, new moon. It's a very confusing time. The new moon is happening in most of the world on the 13th, but in the Western US on the 12th. And so 4 p.m. on the 12th, I hope you can, in Mountain Time, I hope you can consider joining. A very powerful moment in time. Let's come together and be the force that we are. Be the force of nature that we are, the substance, the wealth that we are, and celebrate that together. This is a group project. We're working on it together, and it's powerful and potent. You can't even believe what you've been a part of. And how much gratitude there is for you in your service. So let's turn the corner together with this intense astrology and let that light come through the darkness and be the light of the darkness and stand up in this righteous truth, stand up in the substance, stand up in the true wealth of this world, and claim back our spiritual sovereignty as individuals and as humans on this beautiful planet. And it's time to take it back. So revolution, humanity, human revolution. And what's human? You know, a lot of these people that were like, what's going on? They're not totally human. They're hybrids or clones or drones, you know, like robots. You know, this is what we're dealing with. And so this is where the breakdown of the lower false, fake bullshit can't help but reveal the true wealth of this world, and that's you. So let's come together and celebrate. If you can make it, and you can catch the replay if you can't make it in your time zone, I would just love to have your energy with us for this Capricorn new moon turning point. So I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update or at that activation. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.